Let's do it, people. Let's freaking go. Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year from our team to you, from our team to everybody out there listening, which at the moment has got to be at least 11 people, Ian. There's got to be approaching a dozen of our friends out there. No, we're having some fun, folks. Hopefully you've had an incredible holiday season thus far, spent time with friends, family, and food. Food's one of the critical F's in our family, food, family, friends. We got a crew together in the studio today. We've got the one and only Gibson Aguirre in studio. What's up, Gibson?
Howdy, folks.
Always dropping a howdy. Pretty big year for the Aggies. Lots to talk about there. Hopefully we'll do very, very little of that. We've also got another friend of the Aggies, the Yanni Donnie himself, the English wonder, our very own AI, our aggravated, agitated, and sometimes animated, Ian Daniels.
Hey, my voice is back. So
glad to have you and your voice in the studio. And then usually from afar with maximum volume, the full price is here. Woo! Triple C, the Coatney, Gordon Clark Cleveland.
Here we go. I got some feedback on the last show, Todd, that we did. Last couple.
Gibson, do you know what's about to happen? Because everyone else knows exactly what's about to happen.
I do.
Do you think you got feedback about Courtney?
No.
Do you think you got feedback about me?
No.
Do you think you got feedback about any of the information that we shared with our audience?
No.
Okay. Ian, go ahead.
Voice sounded horrible.
Mm-hmm. But you know what I say, Ian, and I like to take my shots when I can, but you played hurt. And a team needs people to step up, show up, and play hurt sometimes.
That's exactly what I told them this morning.
You know what?
Hey, listen.
Proud of you. Proud of you.
Yep.
What else were you going to say? Listen.
Oh, I was just telling him, you didn't get listed to the IR. You came in, you supported the team, and that's what matters.
That's right. You shook the trainer off.
He may have ruined my workout, though, when he chimed in and I was listening.
It was pretty rough. It was pretty
not even half of it.
Like some people, you're like, okay, you're not sick, and with Ian, you're like, nope, he has most certainly got something, and he
was relatively quiet at the start, and I was like, okay, what's going on? And then
it was a giveaway.
What was it? Datum and data. Oh, yeah. And when he first chimed in, and I was like, oh no,
he didn't have his normal grit and passion on that one. He just let it go. He was like, yeah, you're right. I was like, ooh, Then my next favorite part, since we're breaking down last week's show for this week's show, is when he was like, it's not contagious. I'm like,
anybody else get sick?
I think some may have, but nobody admitted it. So I just always appreciate that you have just proclaimed and decided that it's not contagious.
Yeah, nobody else got it.
Seems to be
everyone's
authoritative.
Fine. Everyone's fine.
Hey, this first segment of the show is brought to you by
my man, PG, Patrick Gleros. He's awesome.
So smooth today.
Reach out to him if you have questions on a mortgage, refinance. Maybe you should have a little chit chat with old Patty.
Let's just move on. I was talking to Patrick in the truck on the way here. Second time I talked to him this week, actually about technology that he's building for borrowers, buyers, clients, agent partners. He's an MIS major, Management Information Systems major from SMU. So he's fantastic. And he loves to kind of pull that lever of technology for clients and friends and agents. Of course, also educating people through the mortgage process, but he's so good at finding new and additional ways to make the mortgage a part of your wealth building or a part of your debt reduction or a part of your overall strategy and not just this kind of necessary evil of borrowing. And some really cool stuff that's already on patrickgleros.com and some really cool stuff that he's sort of iterating with me and then soon our whole team to go, hey, would this be helpful to borrowers? Would this be helpful to buyers? Would this be helpful to homeowner buyers? Would this be helpful to investor buyers? Refinance. So just it's fun to see how he thinks like we think. What would be best for the client? What else can we do to add more value? So check him out, patrickgleros.com, NMLS number
308804.
I'm really proud of you. That was a great read.
Thank you.
Hey, folks, if you are thinking in any way about buying, selling, or investing in residential real estate in your home or a flip or a rental in 2026, our team is offering you what we call free strategy sessions. And I'm going to ask Gibson to give a little detail about that here in a minute. But here's what we do. Generally speaking, we set aside most afternoons in January. We can do some midday or whatever, but typically in the afternoon, we sit down face-to-face with you, one of our full-time, fully dedicated, world-class real estate pros, will gift you 30 to 90 minutes of their time. Answer any real estate related questions you have. Hey, should we add on? Should we move? When would be the right time to downsize? What if we wanted to buy a rental? How do we get some real estate in our portfolio for retirement? Any of that. Just simply answer your questions so you can sleep a little bit better at night knowing that you have a game plan. They can also help you if you were to say, hey, we want to buy a house this year, but we're not really sure where or when or how to get the most out of our budget. Great. Let's think through what's possible, what's not possible, what's out there, what's not out there right now. You don't have to buy or sell anything right now, but you can sit with one of our full-time pros, get some answers to your questions, get some clarity, and get what we call a game plan in place. So you can sleep well knowing that, hey, you're 2 years out or you're 90 days out. And most days between now and whenever you're going to make your next real estate move, you can improve your odds, improve your leverage, improve your chances of success. You cannot start that conversation too early, but most people do, in fact, start that conversation too late, and then they're shrinking their flexibility. They're losing options. They don't have as many strategies at their disposal. So if you would like to sign up or recommend to a friend for a free strategy session with us sometime in January, all you have to do right now is call or text 214-310-0008. Courtney, what's that phone number?
214-310-0008.
She did it. So proud of her. Gosh, I'm so proud of her. So many times she didn't. Gibson. So many times she didn't get it, but she did that time. 214-310-0008. You can just text the word strategy. By the way, if you've listened to the show 1 time, 10 times, or 100 times, and you've heard that phone number so many times you've memorized it, but you've never called or texted, just shoot us something.
Yeah,
just tell it. Let me know you're out there. Just say, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, or you guys stink. If you're going to say you guys stink, if you could indicate which of us, I'm just kidding. But no, for real, happy holidays for us. We appreciate you tuning in, supporting us, spreading the word, letting people know that we're a different kind of real estate team, that we're all in full time, and that we feel like it's our calling to use our God-given gifts and abilities to add value out in the world. Now, hard transition here, Gibson. It's that time of year where people start showing up at the gym that you don't normally see there. Generally speaking, how do you feel about it?
You want to be all encompassing.
It's okay. It's okay to be honest.
Yeah, you want to be all encompassing, but yeah, the head count, the equipment is not as readily available for folks, and so
that stands as my just visual representation that this is the time of year people set goals. This is the time of year people are like, nope, 2026. That's my year. My word for the year is power. It's whatever. It's always something really optimistic. And then sadly, by about January 14th, a lot of people are like, that was awkward.
I don't even know how to spell power at this point.
Too hard. I'm going for alive. But I'm a big goal setting guy. Right now, I like commitments more than goals. I'm gonna get it done more than I would like to or hope to. And so we'll talk in a minute about something our team does. But there's a lot of people listening, watching right now, whether you're live on radio, podcast, YouTube, whatever, that if you're catching this live or anywhere near live, you probably do have a sort of a mental reset going on. Hey, new year, new me, blank slate, new calendar. I'm going to change some things up. And I love it. I think a good, clean reset is good intellectually. It's good as far as our psychology works. It gives us not only the excuse, but sort of the opportunity and momentum to go, hey, I could create some change in my life now better than normal. So we want to invite you to take advantage of those free strategy sessions. Even if you're like, hey, I think I might want to invest in real estate this year. Great. Our gift to you is 30 to 90 minutes to find out if you should. We might end up going, this is probably not the right year for you. That's okay. That's our gift to you, the time and the expertise, no pressure. You might find out, hey, we should downsize, and now would be a perfect time to do that. And if we did that in the next 6 weeks, we would save money or make money or alleviate stress. If that's the case, great. Obviously, we'd be happy to represent you and lead you and guide you through that. But there's another thing that our team does that we call 75 strong. And I would love for all of us, Courtney, feel free to jump in here just to talk about kind of what it is and how we've done it. And the reason I'm sharing this on live radio is A couple of things. Number one, just kind of gives you a sense of who we are and how we think about growth for our clients and for our team members. But also, if you or anybody you know wants to get into residential real estate and wants to join a team like ours that's pretty committed to personal growth, oftentimes spiritual growth, obviously professional growth, income growth, and growing our ability to have impact in the lives of others, our clients, our friends, but also people that will never get paid for helping. We're just helping in the flow of our jobs. We talk to thousands of people a year. We help hundreds. We don't help everybody buy and sell, but we help a lot of people with information or a tip or advice or a caution. And so this is an environment where things like this happen. So we call it 75 Strong. Who wants to share a little bit about how you've jumped in on 75 Strong in the past? Otherwise, I can just roll. What you got, Gibson?
Yeah, so it's a play off of obviously 75 Hard, but Todd's wisdom behind that is, hey, take 5 habits that endorse or make your life better in any way, shape, or form. There's not a limit to that. It's not drinking water. It's not physical activity. It may be reading or whatever, but the community of it, and we invite you guys into that. Our coaching and consulting group is a participant in that, and obviously everybody in the team does it. But we do it through a habit share app, and that's probably the most encouraging part is you have this daily tracker app. I'm going to put 5 habits in there, and then everybody within this community is accountability, essentially, because if I don't do my 5 habits, or if it's 3:00 and most of my habits are knocked out in the morning and that wasn't already done, I have somebody here holding me accountable saying, hey, I logged into habit tracker and saw that you didn't knock out your stuff this morning. Or do you have plans to do that this afternoon? So
that would be the gentle way they might say that.
Yeah, sure.
They would probably say, dude, you want to do some push-ups right freaking now? Yeah, so what we do is everybody picks 5 daily habits. Some of them are really significant and difficult. Some of them are pretty manageable, but if you were to do them 75 days in a row, they'd be really, really life-changing. Now, that doesn't mean like you're a whole new man and learn 5 new languages, but it might be like, I got 75 days in a row of praying with my wife. That wasn't like astronomically difficult, but it built a habit, and one of us traveled once and we still did that. And so this is a new thing. I have 75 days in a row of reading a story to my daughter every single night. And that's not like something super new, but it's usually twice a week. And now it was 75 days in a row. It can be things like that, or it could be, yes, I built it off of 75 Hard, which, by the way, all credit to Andy Frisella, is the creator of that, podcast host, all that stuff. But his deal's pretty hardcore. 2 workouts a day, 1 inside, 1 outside, gallon of water, progress pick, all this kind of stuff. I don't have anything against that. That just didn't motivate me. One of my things is almost always diet and or exercise. There's always at least one that's about spiritual growth and spiritual disciplines. There's almost always something about my marriage or my kids, and then almost always something about work. But there's nothing brilliant about what we do. Gibson just talked about the magic is in that we do it together, and that it's, yes, there's the accountability of someone saying like, hey, are you going to miss that? But there's also the accountability of like, man, dude, everybody's getting after it. I want to get after it. I want to run with people who want to grow, who want to make a difference in the world, who want to have impact. I want to be around people who want to grow and improve and don't want to just stagnate, and who want to do that and offer that to their home buyers and their home sellers. That, man, 75 days from now, I'm going to be a better advocate, leader, guide, representative for home buyers in DFW, for home sellers in DFW, for our friends that just need help on a roofer or a plumber or a remodel. And I know that sounds like a stretch, but we see it happen every single year. And then we see the people that are like, okay, cool, I did 75 days, I'm good, but these 2 things, I'm gonna go all year. I'm gonna read 10 pages of a book every day from now on, and I'm a little bit more educated, informed, confident, capable for my clients. And then you start seeing things where your clients are like, man, I'm just blown away that you know this much. Well, that's how things like that happen. So we're just letting people know something that our team does. If you know somebody that wants to maybe join our team, you can have them call or text 214-310-0008. If you're buying or selling a house this year and you want to be represented by and advocated for by agents like Gibson and like our other agents that are constantly looking to grow and be more informed, not just be like a nice guy from the neighborhood, a nice girl from the neighborhood, but to be a world-class expert then call or text us, 214-310-0008, or you can find us online anytime.
ToddTremontiTeam.com.
At ToddTremontiTeam.com. Okay, now Gibson, let's get down on the ground in real estate right now. Obviously, we talk about this stuff every single week on this show, all day long on the podcast, on the YouTube channel, but reporting live from the field, Gibson at Gary, what's happening out there right now? What's going on with buyers? What are sellers saying and doing? What's possible if somebody's thinking, man, I want to get after it right now, early in the year, before the spring, summer? What's going on out there?
Do it before the spring, I would say. I rest with Todd in just the November, December, January, February months. There's not a lot of activity, or I would tell you there is, but most folks are sitting on the sidelines just saying, I'm going to wait for spring and summer when more inventory shows up. But I think the home run buyer stories that we constantly see year over year happen in this, what people would call a dead period. Yeah. I mean, just huge wins for buyers. Even if you're a double-sided.
Yeah, that's what I was going to inject. I think it's the best time for a buyer. It's about the best time for a seller and a buyer. And it can be great for sellers, but there are other times that maybe the stereotype might be as good, if not even a little bit better for a seller. But it's a great time to do any of it, and you can get into more of why and how and what you're seeing sellers willing to do right now, what you're seeing buyers achieve right now. So take it away.
Listing agents are texting me on a daily basis, and these are not listing agents that I've had conversations with. They are people that see that I have a buyer that has either favorited a property or is even just showing up in their portal search.
So for folks that have no idea what that really means, that's an indicator of what?
Desperation.
Yeah, so those the agents that represent the sellers, which Gibson's calling a listing agent. On our team, we call it a marketing specialist, but the industry calls it a listing agent. Instead of them being like, I got all kinds of buyers, they're coming to me, they're a little more proactive. And instead of just calling people back after they've come and seen the house, they're calling you just because one of your buyers was on the MLS, realtor database, clicking that they liked or favored it or wanted to save and look again at a property. So they've come all the way down the sort of pipeline of buyers instead of just waiting on offers or calling after showings or calling after scheduled showings. They're calling after someone's just indicating online they might have some interest. And that shows us those agents are more eager, desperate maybe, but certainly eager. They're having to work harder to get a home sold. So your buyer, therefore, what's the benefit to them from that?
I mean, it's an incentive in that text message. It's hey, sellers are... Obviously, you may have not seen the price changes that you want to in the 60 days that we've been on the market, but just know my sellers are willing to have a conversation if y'all are within the realm of price. Yeah,
so broadly speaking, that level of follow-up is an indicator that your buyer's got some leverage. Your buyer's there's some opportunity there. This seller's they don't have multiple offers. They're not real confident. Their agent is out hustling, which they should be, but they don't usually do.
Yeah, I would say the buyer has leverage when the small practice of just like a reverse prospecting email. Yeah. And again, if I have a client that I create a search for in the portal that is their specific parameters, and a listing agent has a property for sale that meets that need, the listing agent has the ability to send basically a blanket email out to every client or every realtor that has a client looking in this specific area. Yeah. That's the first step that I would say is advantageous for a buyer, but this is another level to that. Agents are reaching out to me personally, not just a templated email. It's,
hey, Gibson, I saw you had a client that was at least interested in our property on 123 Main.
Yeah, what's their timeline? What are they needing? What are they thinking? Have they seen houses in my neighborhood? What can we do to get them to this one?
Love it. So if you're listening and you're a buyer or your friend or your child or your buddy's a potential buyer in 2026, what you're hearing Gibson, who sells as many homes to buyers as anyone in this market, that's all he does. He specializes in buyers. What he's telling you is that before the spring and summer uptick, which there always is, and I don't expect this year to be like a gangbusters, crazy blow up market, but I do think 26 will be a little more active than 25. There'll be a little more optimism, and I think this spring and summer will kick off earlier than last year's did. Last year's really didn't have much of an early spring bump. This year I think will, and there's data to support that. We don't have time to get into all of it. So what Gibson is telling you is if you're a buyer or you want to be a buyer or you know someone that wants to be a buyer, they need to be talking to us, talking to Gibson, talking to one of our agents now, almost January, to be ready to go take advantage of that in late January or February before those sellers start to get a little bit more optimism back, because they will. As soon as like I always say after Valentine's Day, they're like, well, it's almost March, so we're going to toughen up a little bit here. Now we might as well wait a couple more weeks and we're in spring. So there is this window of opportunity in the next 60 to 75 days-ish, and we're entering that window. We're kind of already in it with sellers a little more eager, sellers agents a little bit more negotiable, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more open about the fact that they don't have all the leverage. So all that's true for buyers. I want to come back to you in a second and just talk about what are some deals you're seeing getting put together. What does that look like for buyers right now? What are they able to achieve? But let me finish this explanation really quickly. So that's kind of the state of the situation. Now, for sellers who are also buying are going, okay, cool. That doesn't mean I have to give away the farm. That just means we need to be a little bit more conversational and go, hey, what would be good for you? What would be good for us? Hey, we could put a deal together over here on the sell side, a fair deal, and then go over here on the buy side and get a fair or better deal also. That's better than like dominating the buy side and getting crushed on the sell side, or dominating the sell side and getting crushed on the buy side. It's better to get like a pretty fair deal here and an extra fair deal here and net out. Man, that was actually like everybody was kind of respectful to each other and everybody kind of did okay, and I netted out better than I would have. That's kind of where we are right now. If you're a buyer or if you're someone selling and buying. Now, if you are selling only, I would say now's still a very good time, but you may be talking now about when do we want to be live onto the market. Let's start getting prepped right now. Let's start turning the dial up to do all the things we can do without having to spend a ton of money or spend a ton of energy. But let's check a couple boxes. Let's do a couple simple, easy things we can do. And if we want to go live now, we'll do well. If we want to be live on the market right as that spring uptick hits and there's more demand and maybe a little more competition, we will have used this time well to prepare for that time. So neither of us is saying, hey, just wait, to anyone. We're saying start the conversation now. If you're a buyer or you're a two-sided sell and buy, you would probably do well to make that decision and make that move in the next 60 or 75 days. If you're a seller only, you could do well doing that also, but you've got a little more flexibility to get ready now. Still start now, but not actually go fully on the market or not actually sell and expect to close and fund until maybe that uptick hits and take advantage of that. Do you agree to that? Do you see anything a little differently?
No, yeah, there's two scenarios that I think about. We've got one family in Lake Highlands and one in Wiley. They both entered or came on with Jeremy and I, so they had to sell and buy in both situations.
Okay.
The Lake Highlands family had a timeline that was like 3 or 4 months, maybe. They, after having a conversation with us, realized it was going to be much quicker than that. And then the Wiley family is actually already double closed because they thought they were 6 months out, and there were a lot of buy-side products to where we could take their house to market knowing that they had options.
So here's what I want to do. When we come back from the break, we're going to give you the nitty-gritty details of like literally what's possible, what kind of price points and bedrooms, bath, what can you do with your budget right now. Before that, if you or a friend or a family member in any way wants to get some information, wants to kind of calm your confusion, your anxiety, the unknown about anything related to real estate, buying a house, selling a house, flipping a house, buying a rental, doing a remodel, having to replace your roof, finding a plumber, some tile work or granite work. These are just gifts from our team. We call them free strategy sessions. Really, we'll buy you a cup of coffee or a Coke or a Topo Chico, whatever. Sit down face-to-face with you. We'll even prepare a little bit before that meeting to get you some information, access to some information that nobody else has. We'll tell you our forecast for the 2026 market, and then we'll just help you. And if that means that we're going to end up helping you buy or sell, of course we want that. But if it means that we just added some value in your life, great, we want that too. That's part of who we are and what we do and what we feel called to do, and it would be a joy for us to add value in your life in that way. All you have to do to request a free strategy session is call or text 214-310-0008. You can just text the word strategy to 214-310-0008, or you can call 214-310-0008. Google Todd Tremonti, spell it however you want. You'll find me. And you can look at over 800 5-star reviews as well. And we will talk to you very soon. We'll be right back after the break with some specifics on what deals are getting done right now in DFW. Welcome back, party people. During the break, we had I'd say, extremely academic conversation about when you say Happy New Year to people. So I'm saying it. Happy New Year, everybody. Now, I'm well aware that it is not yet 2026, but after Christmas, I start saying Happy New Year, like we're approaching the new year. I wouldn't say right or wrong, but Ian made a great point that he doesn't say Happy New Year until it is, in fact, the new year. Yeah.
I'd still say Happy Christmas because I haven't spoke to you since Christmas, so Happy Christmas.
Actually, I really like Happy Christmas. I prefer Merry Christmas. It's what I grew up with. It's what I say. But I like a Happy Christmas.
I was going to have a hot take on Happy Christmas.
Go on.
Yeah, hit it.
I just don't like it.
Oh, yes.
Why not?
Merry Christmas.
Bring the heat.
Everything else has happy. Christmas is special and unique. It's merry.
Yeah, I say Merry Christmas, and I prefer it. But I do think there's some charm to...
In England, we say Happy Christmas.
Yeah, why do you
Now, he doesn't like it if you say it's not just English, it's British.
Say happy.
Yeah.
So I usually say it's British. It's a British thing to say Happy Christmas. All the Brits do it.
Whatever.
All of them. That's kind of, it's the same. It's Britain. It's kind of all the same.
Okay.
All right, folks.
Sticks and stones, Todd.
Before they... I have to taught my kids that is one of the greatest lies that people and teachers tell kids. Sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you. I'm like, bones heal, but words will last a lifetime.
Not me. Sticks and stones, my friend.
I'd like that to be true, but it's not. Okay. Hey, when we went to the break, Gibson was just dropping fire, as the kids say these days, talking about like what a buyer's actually achieving in the market. Therefore, what are sellers willing to do in the market? So I'm going to give him kind of clear runway here to tell you exact stories within reason of not sharing client information. But real quick before we do that, segment's brought to you by Patrick Galeros and his team over at Mortgage Everything. So Patrick is my guy for mortgage. He's been my mortgage guy for 20 plus years. I literally have never done a residential mortgage ever without Patrick. I wouldn't unless I like absolutely had to, if he just quit and ran away. And I think you should too. I can give you a million reasons for that, but if you think I know anything about what I'm talking about, I'm telling you he's the best we've ever worked with. And in the rare scenario where somebody needs a super unique kind of loan that he can't do, he'll be like, okay, here's my person for that. She's incredible at that, or he's awesome at that. I've already vetted him. And look, nobody's perfect, but man, in 20 plus years of doing this, just a problem solver, an educator, cares for people, helps people through the process of buying a home, buying a second home, refinancing that home to right fit your mortgage to your financial picture, educating you through the process, making sure you understand like there's not it's not like you just go get a mortgage. You have options. Do you want to put the maximum amount of cash in? Do you want the lowest rate possible? Or is there a little bit of an advantage to not have the lowest rate? That sounds crazy to most people until they realize this affects that and that affects that over there. And Patrick and his team are the best in the business at walking you through that, educating you through that, helping you understand your options, helping you make the best choice. But it is still your choice. They're going to set you up to make the best decision for you and your family and your finances, whether you're buying, refinancing, or just being strategic with your mortgage. You can find him and his team online at patrickgaleros.com, Glaros, patrickgaleros.com, and MLS number 308804. That's Patrick Galeros, my mortgage guy at patrickgaleros.com. Okay, we're going to get to some specifics, but here in a minute, we're going to talk about what we call the HEB Factor. The HEB Factor. How about that for a radio, TZ? And what do you think?
HEB Factor.
The HEB. Now, I went to college at Baylor in Waco, and we called them the HEB. You pronounced it. So in Waco, the different HEB locations, there would be the Ghetto HEB, the Taj Mahib, the Belmead HEB. We'll come back to the HEB after this. All right, Gibson, what is happening on the ground in residential real estate right now?
And now, this.
Yeah, so I'd mentioned two families, very different scenarios.
Yep.
One Lake Highlands, one Wiley. We'll start with Lake Highlands, folks. The reason I bring both of these up together is that Jeremy and I met with these two families at the same time. Very similar plans in what they wanted to do in real estate. And that was, we need to move. We need a little bit more space for our kiddos. And we want to make sure that that happens before the school year ends. You know, so they were thinking late spring, early summer. Okay. That was the plan. So we have conversations in November. We get both of them started. And essentially, the Lake Highlands family is starting quicker than they should.
Okay.
We are prepping their house for market. Excited. Not even that it was excited. It was the fact that their expectations were in line with what was reasonable for the market. I mean, they could put their house on the market and go find something to buy, and it makes complete sense. The waiting game, if anything, was probably going to pinch them for that. Okay. And so that's their trajectory. Same exact scenario, same inception date for this Wiley couple, probably the same week, not the same day. They are now, as of last week, closed and funded on both a sell and a buy. Okay. And same exact scenarios. Yeah. Hey, you know, our Wiley family, their hope was our girls are getting to a certain age. We need a little bit more space, and we want them to be in this house as they make their rounds through elementary, middle school, and high school. They didn't want to move in the period of those years. And so, yeah, I mean, we looked at the buy side market. We got their house, as we talk about, push button ready. Yep. I mean, staging, photography, everything needed to just, at the snap of the fingers, when it needs to go live on the MLS and available, we are already prepared to do that. So they've done that. We look at the buy side, and they had about 3 or 4 options that were all great options for them. And then once we got there, it was basically like, hey, there are 3 properties that you could potentially buy. How do y'all feel about taking your property that you need to sell live, in the fact that you would end up with one of these 3 choices? And all 3 were incredible choices. And so once you have leverage like that, we take their property live. Jeremy sells it opening weekend for, I want to say, $12,000 over the asking price. And we are able to go execute their buy side. No contingency at this point, or I mean, the contingency was still in play, but it was not something that the seller was leveraging against us, that we could not be a favorable offer to these folks. And so buy side contract, we were at listing price, but I was able to get them, you know, a 2-1 buy down that we've talked about before, loan product, giving them the benefit to buy down their rate for the first 2 years of, and they're not even paying for that. The seller, that's a credit from the seller. And so huge wins. $12,000 over asking, and $15,000 essentially paying their rate down for the first 2 years of their new home.
Okay, so here's my notes. Here's the breakdown for folks that are listening that maybe don't understand the terminology, or maybe didn't follow that, or just need to hear the opportunity that exists right now in sort of direct, you know, more direct terms. Okay, first of all, I want everyone to notice that when Gibson is talking about these, he's saying families, not deals, not buyers, right? There's a difference in how an agent treats people, thinks about their business, handles clients, right? So the typical terminology for realtors is like, you know, I got 2 deals going on right now. Or at best, I've got a buyer. I got 2 buyers right now. You're hearing Gibson say families. Because
say some wheeling and dealing, though.
Yeah, there he goes. You got all cogny on us there for a second. Mm-hmm. But that's a big deal, and I want people to see that. When you have people who care for people and real estate happens to be the way they're doing it versus wheeler dealer, getting deals done, names on a whiteboard, just dollars and commissions, there's a very different experience. There's a very different level of advocacy, leadership, guidance, protection, and of course, fun and joy and results and lasting benefit. So that's number 1. Number 2, I've said 1,000 times, maybe more, you cannot start this conversation too early, but you can start it too late. And those were 2 illustrations of people, because of when they had their conversation, they were able to be selective with their timelines and kind of strike while the iron's hot, take advantage of the appropriate timeline for their family or the best opportunities for their family. Had they waited until right before school was out or right before school started, you don't get that many options. You don't get 3 winners and go, okay, well, let's go. You're like, we got to get our house on the market. We got to get it sold. We got to buy whatever's available. You know, that's not a good place to be. You can do it and you can survive it, and people do all the time, but it's not ideal. You got to start that conversation earlier. The other thing I noted was order of operations. when you start early and you have an expert representing you on the sell side and another expert representing you on the buy side, and behind those experts, a team of experts, of staff and other agents that can pinch hit, support, gather information, make phone calls, transact the process, manage the liability or the details of the transaction. Then you can do things in the right order and you don't get out of whack. You don't get pinched. You don't get pressured. It's really, really important because they were push button ready. Then they knew we're going to end up with one of these houses. Otherwise, you're like, man, I hope they're still out there. Another thing is you did mention they needed to sell. They did need to sell this house before they could buy that house. But their confidence in we're going to get that house was there because before anyone even knew that house was available, we call it preemptive marketing, everything was push button ready. We have a 7-step proprietary marketing system. It's not like declutters, clean up, and let's go. It's not shove a sign in the yard just so the neighbors know we have a listing. It's no, we're not putting it out there until we're extremely confident it's going to go over the average price and under the average time, which it did, and you're going to be able to get that other house. You talked about opening weekend, 10,000 plus over asking and way under the average time, even in that area. And then you talked about a contingency. For a lot of people is a problem to go to a seller and say, hey, we're going to buy your house, but only if it's contingent upon selling the other house we have. But when that agent's able to look over and go, oh, wow, the listing of their home is so dialed in, it's so ready, and you already have offers day 1, day 2, sure, we will sell you our house contingent upon that. We're not worried about that at all, or way less worried than we would. And then finally, and there's way more, but my final note, you were able to get your seller to pay for your buyer to have a lower mortgage rate. And that's somewhere in the ballpark of $15,000 of value, not counting the whatever you want to call it, psychological behavioral value of like, I'm sleeping a little bit better at night for a couple of years because I got a way lower rate than I otherwise would have. And my agent got the other party to the transaction, that seller, to pay for that, basically to manufacture, to trade money for my interest rate to be way lower, 1 or 2 points for a year or two, which is a point meaning a full percentage point, is a really big deal. So we don't have to like break those down further, but that's normal for you. I'm slowing it down for the people watching and listening that are like, oh, I didn't realize all of that was happening. And so my last question for you on the specific details of just what's possible for buyers out there right now is, are these like the anomalies? These are the best deals this year. And so you're just telling us like, oh, these are the big ones. Is this happening with your buyers a lot? Is it like right here at the end of the year, this is possible? What's happening out there?
Yeah, that's just last week. That's the reason that one is relevant.
That's just last week.
I think I've come on here before and I've pulled all the bells and whistles out and have elaborated on these massive negotiation contracts that I've done.
Yeah. And
the reason that, if anything, that these two stick out is these are sensitive stories for folks. These are the Lake Highlands couple thought this was not even possible before we sat in their living room and talked to them. And it was just like, no, y'all are well within reason. Your expectations are not ludicrous in any way, shape, or form. We can make this happen today unless you truly want to wait for the summer market.
Let me pause for 1 second. I do want you to finish your thought, but this is why strategy sessions are so valuable. Because you might be sitting in your home thinking, we're years away from getting our children in the home that we want to be in for the education years. Like we want roots in a community with school during this season, but from everything we've seen, we can't afford it, or everything we've seen, we can't sell the one we got, or everything we've seen, we can't get out of our lease. We're just giving you 30 to 90 minutes to sort that out with you. And not all the time. It doesn't happen every time. But way more often than people would think, what happened here, where they're like, we just don't think we can do it. And you guys are like, not only can you do it, you could do it right now. You're well within the realm of possibility. Budget, availability, inventory. We could sell yours quick. We could buy one of these. You got multiple good options. And now they're just gushing. Oh my gosh, we are where we wanted to be, faster than we thought before the holidays. This is incredible. We're so happy for our kids. That could be you. I can't promise you that. But that could be you in 60 days or so. If you just want to sit down with one of our full-time fully dedicated, world-class real estate pros that specializes in working with buyers or specializes working with sellers. And you might work with two of them if you're selling and buying, and get our whole staff behind them. If that's intriguing to you in any way, it's our gift to you. 30 to 90 minutes. We'll even buy you a cup of coffee or a Coke or a water or whatever you want. And just pick our brain. Tell it. We'll jump on the call ahead of time, and then we can prepare. We can pull some data, pull some trend reports, get some names and contact information for vendors that you might need, and then we can sit down and have a hour or so chat and just pour value into you, on you. And if you need our help as an agent, obviously we'd love to earn that. Just call or text 214-310-0008 if you would like a strategy session with our team, or if you want to set one up for a friend or a parent or a coworker. 214-310-0008. You can also go online to toddtremonteteam.com. That's toddtremonteteam.com. Awesome stuff happening in the market. By the way, Gibson's been doing that all year long. I mean, the stories that he just told are not uncommon. Now, their personal story is their unique personal story, but the ability to go negotiate sellers to provide things for buyers and get discounts, and for us to get homes sold quicker than the rest of the market, we're doing that every day, all day, and we'll guarantee it. So you can go to toddtremonteteam.com or just call us to get more information about that as well. Now, earlier, Ian, we talked about the HEB Factor. I know that you may be one of the few people around here that might be more food obsessed even than me. Courtney, feel free to grab a mic. The HEB effect. I'm not saying I named it, but I haven't heard anybody else say it. Comes from, as a real estate broker, what used to be the Whole Foods effect. When Whole Foods was new to our area and it was all the rage, agents knew that if a home was within 1 mile of a Whole Foods, the value of it went up. People were so excited about Whole Foods. It was such a big deal around here that people wanted to be near them. They wanted to be in their normal commute. That's where they were going to do their grocery shopping. And I'm watching that happen with even more intensity with HEB. And I don't know if you've heard the backstories, that there was rumors that one grocery chain was trying to kind of box out HEB and not let them move up here. But once they came and were able to acquire some land, their strategy was like to add a store every year. And now that's happening. So whatever the backstory is, the HEB effect is real. Here's my question. Do you like HEB?
Here's my answer.
Oh, gosh.
I'm warming up to them.
Hi.
Hey, Mum. But here's the reason why I'm only warming up to them, okay?
Okay.
The first 2 times I went to HEB, because everyone was telling me I have to go, right?
Just get over it. Come on.
I went to get some basil. And they didn't have any basil. They had no basil in the entire store.
We had a dog named Basil once.
All right.
Man.
Second time I wanted some lamb chops or leg of lamb.
Can you
I looked
imagine?
online. It said they had leg of lamb available. Went into the store. No leg of lamb available. So I was 0 for 2 in my trips to HEB. I've given them 1 or 2 tries since. I was there a couple of weeks ago. I'm warming up.
Okay.
I like, Central Market's the same company though, right?
Yeah.
So I use Central Market.
It's kind of like their Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Okay. So I appreciate.
Good tortillas.
Yeah, I appreciate your honest response.
The guac was good.
Not a lot. I don't appreciate it a lot. I appreciate it a little. Anyway, I'm not getting paid by HEB. This is not an endorsement. HEB, holler at us. We'd be glad to, because I'm a big freaking fan. Now, there's a good chance that the reason that stuff happened is because when HEB opened, not for a day or two, but for like 5 months, there was just like 3,000 people in the parking lot of HEB all day, every day, at every one they've opened in the region. It's like when In-N-Out came. Now, I don't understand that. I'm not a big In-N-Out fan. And people just like lined the streets to get that subpar hamburger, and they were crying. Now, I get it. It's like they were from California and they grew up with it and they loved it. If I lived in the Northwest and Whataburger came, I would be gleeful. My buddy moved to Colorado one time, and when they got Bluebell, he was like, dude, I almost cried.
You know what I might move for if it came to Texas?
What?
Publix.
You would.
Oh, Publix.
No, that's not as good as HEB.
Oh, the pub subs? Oh,
Get out
my
of here.
goodness.
I have heard good things about their deli.
It's incredible.
No, it's good, but it's not HEB.
Oh.
Have you ever been to the Taj Mahal? We'll talk about it later. Anyway, we're calling the one out in Murphy that's currently being built the Murphy. It just rolls right off the tongue. The
I
Murphy.
like that.
Okay, so here's the thing. The HEB factor is that people want to live near them. Okay, so there's pros and cons to that, and we can talk about them. The pros are obviously people think it's a great grocery store. I think big parts, not all, but major parts of DFW have just sort of backed into like, your best bet is a Walmart or a Target and their grocery part. There's a lot of areas that don't have a lot of like dedicated grocery chains. There's some Kroger's left, man. Albertsons, not so much. Minyards was a thing up here back.
Kroger's booming, number 3 in the country in terms of really grocery stores. I have a list right here.
I like the big Kroger Select stores, but the regular Krogers are all right. So all that to say, the fact is, as these HEBs open up, they're creating like these little pockets where people want to live near them. And I think home values are getting a little bump because they're near HEBs. And they do some things unique, and they're beloved in Texas because of the way they love Texas and care for people after disasters and the way they show up when tough stuff happens. So, number one, is there an HEB near you? Are you hearing clients talk about it at all? Are you hearing some buzz? Or is this just me?
It's definitely a marker. I just had to map it, and we are 1.3 miles away from the newest one in Plano.
Yeah. They're putting them in the upper mid areas where people want a better grocery experience than the big box, Walmart, Target. Do y'all ever go?
I have the similar experience. It's been there for like 7 or 8 months, and every time I go, the parking lot is jam-packed.
It's just a zoo. I mean, it's so that's.
I will say though, the parking lot's always jam-packed, but the line's never long.
Yeah, they're very well run. They're super efficient.
Specifically, the Plano location probably doesn't have the parking that it should for the size of it.
Yeah,
Allen location has loads of parking, and it's always packed.
Yeah, big win.
I've been to the Allen one multiple times, and I do enjoy it. I will say this: I'm from Houston. It's kind of a Houston thing. I went to Baylor. It's a Waco thing. And sidebar, they have Antone sandwiches there. I grew up eating Antone sandwiches. If you've never had an Antone sandwich, they distribute them through those HEBs now.
What's an Antone sandwich?
It's a sub sandwich, deli sandwich kind of thing. But go get them in the front, like ready to go take and eat food. Get an Antone sandwich, get whatever you like. But the brown wrapper, the smoked turkey with sweet pickles. I eat sweet pickles on literally nothing else. But on that sandwich, it's like you get to taste not heaven, but like the edge of it, like a fringe of like a little glimpse.
Feels like you would just taste pickle.
Hey, I appreciate you always being positive, but also I'm going to mute you if you keep it up.
It's my least favorite food, though, right?
Yeah, I do, and that's why I enjoyed saying it as much as I did. But Antone sandwiches are great. The HEB factor is real. People are wanting to live near them, and they're popping up slowly, but they are popping up around the Metroplex. Everyone that lives near me is really excited about the one that's being built. Everywhere you go, people are like, "Hey, did you see it? Hey, put the front up. They put the
78.
front up. Hey, light poles are up. Those light poles are up." I'm like, okay.
No, it's not 78. Where's it at?
544.
544. That's right.
Okay. If you are thinking about buying or selling a home and you are fired up about being near an HEB or not, that's okay. If you're fired up about being near Whole Foods or Central Market or a waterfall. Not that we have many real ones around here, but
we have 2 in our neighborhood.
That's what we do.
Nah, not waterfalls. I set them up. We have
he knocks
fountains.
them down.
That's not a waterfall. It's a fountain.
Yeah, it's like it's an accident.
Different.
Okay, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in 2026, this is your opportunity. While almost everybody else has their eye off the ball, like Gibson was saying, people aren't really thinking a lot about real estate right now. They're going to wait until March, April, May, June, and you're going to be finished. You're going to have bought or sold. You're going to have either broken a record or had a really good financial and energy and like positivity transaction. You're going to be finished with your 2026 real estate goals before the masses come out, compete with each other, argue with each other, fight over limited resources and inventory and lenders and getting a contractor out in time. Now's the time. Now's the time to have the conversation. If now is the time to take action, that should go very well for you. If now is not the time to take action, that's fine too. You'll sleep better. You'll be more calm. This will be one less thing rattling around in the uncertainty of your mind on the to-do list to get your real estate goals for 2026 handled. Call or text right now. We'll set you up with a free strategy session. 214-310-0008 or online anytime, anywhere. ToddTremontiTeam.com. Merry Christmas, and Ian.
Happy New Year, folks.
Happy New Year.